Good morning. Welcome to the Parenting Versus podcast.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. This is our Christmas, New Year's special, I guess. Last of the year. I don't think we're going to be doing any more after this.
Yeah, not until
before 2018.
next year.
I mean, maybe we will. I don't know, but
we're going to take a break. We're going to relax.
Yeah. Well, we're relaxing right now, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, shout out to iPhones.
Well, that was unexpected.
Why?
I just wasn't expecting you to say that.
Yeah. iPhones, we're recording on an iPhone, I guess. And we got new phones, Pixels.
Yeah.
Pixel 2
Here we go, the
XLs.
technology talk again, everyone. Merry Christmas.
But, yeah, I mean, our iPhone is good to record, but they were slowing down their phones. Did you know that?
Yes, I did. I read the article.
Yeah. I have a feeling this is going to be the most boring episode ever.
Well.
Because I didn't have anything planned, but I was just going to say, like, that I thought that was interesting that they were slowing down their phones. Mm-hmm. But I don't feel like my phone is any slower.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
So today's Christmas.
Christmas, yeah. We just went through the Santa family present opening, kid-induced Christmas morning, which is actually, it was pretty mellow around here. It wasn't too terrible.
Yeah. I thought for sure it was 4 a.m. when Luke was waking me up. But it was because it was darker than usual.
Yeah.
And I guess that happens in winter. Every day is darker. But both of our kids crawled in our bed.
I woke up and Riley was next to me and I was like, oh, well.
And Riley's growing, so when they crawl in, I have to kind of...
I thought it was Luke at first.
I mean, you don't know which one is which anymore.
I know. It's weird. It's weird. And everybody always says they look alike. Which
do.
I guess they do in the dark.
Well, yeah. And if you're not their parent...
That makes no sense.
If you're not their parent, they look a lot alike. Like
everybody looks the same in the dark.
Is that a thing?
I don't know. I just think it sounds really bad.
Somebody's been sipping on the...
I wish.
the Christmas whiskey.
Yeah. Well, hey, do we have whiskey?
We do. Oh, you bought it.
I know. I'm just wondering.
Yeah, so I got the kids up, and Luke's 5, so he's in that Santa Claus sweet spot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he came running into the room, into the living room with the tree, and saw his Minecraft Legos, and he's like super excited. So
Santa knows what's up.
I just kind of sucks that I don't get any credit for that though.
Someday, in hindsight, you're gonna get all the credit for that.
Yeah.
When they're old enough to understand Santa,
mm-hmm.
You're gonna get all the credit for that.
Yeah, it's
gonna be a like whoa, an epiphany someday,
mm-hmm.
and then they'll be like, hey,
yeah,
thanks, Dad.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't feel like we get too crazy frivolous with Christmas, which is good. I don't want to. I don't know. I know some families, like, it's like Christmas is balls to the wall presents. Like, there's so many presents. And
yeah,
I don't really want to get to that point here at our house because I know our kids get gifts from grandparents. And, I feel like it's more about celebrating the season together, like togetherness. Because we were pretty simple this year with what we got our kids. We didn't go too crazy. Yeah. They each got like 3 little gifts from us and then Santa.
Mm-hmm. I wish we would have given a little bit more thought to our dads. Mm-hmm. We got them grill stuff, and my dad opened it, and he was happy. And I think it was genuine. But, I feel like I could have put a lot more thought into my dad's gift.
It's hard to shop for dads.
It is.
I think dads kind of get overlooked in the gift-giving process a lot of the time. Mm-hmm. I've noticed too, like when I go shopping for you or for my dad or for like my brother even, men's gifts are very generic. Like they pre-package and pre-gift things for men that seem pretty generic.
It's weird. Like Christmas gifts for men are marketed towards women who are buying them.
Right.
And it's not always the case.
But I think that's a flaw because like I can go get something that I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's very masculine. And then you'd be like...
Do you know what I should do next year?
Like,
since I love tech stuff, there's a lot of really awesome tech for under like $30. Like really cool tech stuff. Like, I don't know.
You know what I would like, honestly, is if you would just give me a list of like 10 things so that I at least know where to start and then you won't know which one you're getting. Like, I'll surprise you, but like that would be helpful.
So, the Google store is a great place to start.
I looked on Amazon and I looked a couple other places, but I just didn't even know like what to get you because it's hard. It's hard.
Any sort of high-tech sort of things. Right now, the things that are really popular are voice assistants. So Amazon Alexa, Amazon Alexa
actually.
Mini.
I just didn't think that we
Google Home.
needed that.
Google Home Mini, which we're getting one actually.
What?
We got it for free for buying Pixels.
Oh, okay.
Google Daydream, Google Cardboard. Go ahead. Yeah, so those things. Chromekasts are cheap and they're really cool.
We have a Chromecast.
So I know, but they make music Chromecasts to have a. I mean, not for me. I'm saying for our dads. They
Well,
make. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
My dad, we get him tech stuff and it doesn't get put to good use.
Remember that video camera though? They used that.
I don't even know.
We got them a little video camera one year.
I remember.
And they took it to California and they interviewed somebody on video. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that.
You remember they went to maybe it was Hawaii. It was one of their vacations.
Huh.
And they actually like interviewed somebody, and then like your mom and your dad did, and they like talked to them, recorded them. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that would be good. I just, it's interesting because with my dad, he's a pretty content person. Like if he wants something, he will usually just like, my mom will get it for him, or like he just kind of goes without. Like there's no in between. It's really hard to figure out what my dad wants.
I thought about getting him a box of wine, wrapping it.
Well, I know, but we got him wine.
We
for
get
his
him wine
birthday.
all the time.
I mean, he likes it. He uses it. I just feel like if he wants a good bottle of wine, he could just buy it himself too. I don't know. Dads are hard. I think men shopping in general is hard. I think it's easier if you just ask.
Right.
I don't know. I hope you like your gift. I gave it a lot of thought.
It's good.
I don't know. I mean, you can take it back. I won't be like offended or anything because I just don't know. Like, it was just hard to shop for you. To be honest, it was just hard. So
it's hard to shop for you.
I mean, I didn't get you like a beard comb and cologne or anything. Which is like, I think that would be more a gift for me. Like, I'd be like, hey, aren't you excited about this beard comb and this cologne? That's more for me than you.
Those Big Wood beard combs look pretty cool though.
Shout out to Big Wood.
Shout out to Big Wood.
In all of its glory?
Woodiness?
No, our buddy Kyle.
Well, your buddy.
My buddy, my ex-coworker.
Good buddies.
Squash Blossom Boy, Kyle Malone. Shout out to Kyle Malone. Merry Christmas, Kyle.
He doesn't listen.
Yeah, probably not. But he has kids, so that's cool. So when you buy a Big Wood beard comb, you're supporting him and his family as well. And
they're hand carved.
I gotta figure that out. I think we shouted out one time before, but I'm gonna find the website and I'll get it for you guys because it's pretty awesome.
I saw your friend Tamara. He made a comb for Jude.
Oh, nice.
Did you see that?
I didn't see that.
He made a special comb for him on his second birthday, or was it first birthday or second? I don't know.
I don't know, but that's awesome.
Maybe it was Christmas. I'm not sure.
Yeah. That's
anyways,
really sweet. So it's bigwoodbeardco.com. They're handmade. They have beard oil, beard balm, mustache wax, and combs. They are available in different retailers around Albuquerque, but you can also order online. So if you know somebody who definitely needs a beard comb, check them out. Yeah. Check them out. Goes well with whiskey. Just saying.
Sure. Beard goes well with whiskey. Well, that makes sense because if you get a little whiskey on your mustache, that'll kill some of the bacteria that's hanging out up in there.
It will also smell super manly.
Yeah. Well, you don't want too many bugs living on your beard.
That's gross. It's super gross.
It's life. It's reality.
Maybe
you have bacteria living on your skin as we speak.
Stop it. Ew.
You do. Everybody does.
I know this, but I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to examine it.
They're having Christmas on you.
Stop. Oh my gosh. Why does this conversation always turn weird?
I hear a whimpering daughter.
She's cranky. She has a really runny nose this morning.
Yeah.
We're in baby snot city.
Oh, she fell in the trains. That's okay.
But yeah. So we watched a weird movie last night.
Oh yeah.
I can't even I'm still trying to process what I saw. I don't even know where to begin with that. I can't
This
I can't
movie
even say that I liked it. I was just I couldn't.
I thought it was neat.
It was creative. I mean,
I feel like it was like the target was so either narrow or broad. I can't decide. So it was a Netflix original movie with Will Smith. It was called Brights. Bright. And basically, I think it's set either in the future or current time period.
Like not dystopian, but like
fantasy sort of deal. So there were different races, but like that were in fantasy, stories. Like Lord of the Rings or.
It's categorized as a thriller/fantasy film.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's humans, there's orcs, and there's elves, and there's fairies, and it's like fantasy, but it's like a cop thriller.
We should take that from our daughter real quick.
Okay.
Sorry, she's getting into her brother's I almost said telescope, but it's a microscope set that we got him. He's pretty excited. Juice.
Want some juice?
This little girl wants some juice. So this show Bright, it was Netflix's first like blockbuster attempt at a blockbuster movie. Reviewers are saying you should give Netflix's Bright a chance to defy your expectations. It definitely did that. Gosh, it was so strange. Like, it really was like a cop thriller action movie meshed with a fantasy movie. And that sounds so weird to even say it out loud, but be aware it's definitely like on the kid friendly scale, not at all. Blood, guts, gore, lots of F-bombs, lots of language, lots of nudity, like just in the scenes in general. Like they have them going through and shooting up a strip club at one point. It's like, so don't watch it with your kids around. Definitely not kid friendly or family friendly, but there's lots of explosions, there's lots of shooting, there's lots of action. I mean, it's pretty much nonstop, so it keeps your attention, but like it's just a weird concept. There's like lots of different races, like alien races and fantasy based races.
They weren't alien.
Well, I don't know. I mean, the one guy,
No, he was an orc.
I know, but what does that even mean?
An orc is a race that's in common like fantasy stuff, like Lord of the Rings, Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, any sort of fantasy.
Whoa.
Type of what?
You're like the expert.
No, I just know like orcs they're in World of Warcraft.
I've literally never heard of this in my life.
So orcs are I think they're like a German folklore sort of deal. I'm not exactly sure.
Okay,
I mean,
I just learned something new today.
So your brother would know for sure, but
it's a Christmas miracle.
Yeah, orcs. It's a race. It's in fantasy literature and video games and that
would explain
media.
why I know nothing about it.
and that they followed the type. You know what I mean? Orcs have like these large teeth on the bottom. They're bigger. They're stronger. A lot of times they're green. They're very rude. They have no compassion, I guess you could say. Like there's a lot to orcs.
Wow.
Right? And then
you guys, there's like a whole expertise that my husband has. I have no idea.
I have zero.
Existed.
I don't have any expertise. I just have
I don't know.
I have a general like understanding of what an orc is.
I don't. I've never even heard of this. Like ever.
And that's why I was Googling half orc, half elf, and of course, like this weird fantasy art came up, and it was like half naked, like half orc, half elves. And then so Lindsay saw my phone. She's like, "What are you looking at?" And I was like, "I was just looking at half orcs, half elves. Like I just wanted to see what they would look like what the art is." And then I guess there's half that you can. I mean, this is not scientific, but
I don't think any of this is scientific.
There's art for half orc, half dragon, and half elf, half dragon. And those are crazy, But yeah, so it's a weird show because you have these movie, yeah. You have these races that are typically in these like fantasy settings.
Set in LA.
But yeah, it's set in like LA, and there's cars and buses and helicopters, like, and there's a police force. Right. And then there were elves in the show, and the elves were the rich ones that had like all they had the Lamborghinis, and like the elf neighborhood of LA was like really rich and like gold plated.
You know what they reminded me of?
What's that?
The vampires in Oh my gosh. Twilight. Wow.
Yeah.
My brain. They reminded me of the vampires in Twilight. They were all like pretty blonde and like uppity and just like
straight hair.
Straight hair. Yeah, they kind of had that feeling.
Right. Well, in Lord of the Rings, it was what's his name?
I don't know.
Orlando Bloom.
Oh yeah.
He played drawing a blank on the elf that he played. Anyways, and it's I don't know why I forgot that. Anyway,
but there's an archetype. There's a stereotype, and there's an archetype of that type of character, and they did a really good job of embodying that in the movie. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it was just a weird movie. Crying kids.
No,
go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say like the movie was weird because you had these characters, but would your typical like fantasy fan? I mean, I'm going down Ryan's, your brother Ryan's. Expertise, but would those types of people enjoy this movie? I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's a little bit reaching. I don't know.
It even had a few undertones of like The Fifth Element, which I thought was interesting. Like there were a few minutes where I was like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that character, there was an elf character that they found who had the wand, and everybody wanted the wand because of its power. That actor reminded me of Mia Jovovich.
Yeah, me too. And I was
she was like disheveled and blonde, right?
Overalls. No, it felt like it was a nod to The Fifth Element a little bit.
Yeah.
There was some familiar things in there, but you have the typical smartass Will Smith character running his mouth, and then you have like that cop dynamic of like, oh, we're partners, but we don't want to be partners, but now we're buddies.
Yeah.
Plus, there's like a wand and some elves like slitting people's throats and stuff. It was just kind of nuts.
Could you recommend it?
I will say this.
Well, we're talking about it.
Well, so. Yeah. I mean, would I watch it again? Knowing what it is now, maybe not. I don't know. I just thought the ending was a little bit like. I feel like they could have done more.
I fell asleep.
I know. I felt like they could have. It felt like they cut it off like way too quickly, and they didn't really wrap up anything. I think that if you're wanting to watch something totally outside of your scope of familiarity, then you should watch it.
Yeah, it was entertaining.
It was entertaining. Lots of don't take it seriously. Lots of explosions, lots of guns and violence.
The storyline kept my attention.
Yeah, but I think if nothing else, watch the first 20 minutes just to get a feel for what the entire movie's like, and go from there. If you can handle the first 20 minutes and you're like, this is interesting, then finish the movie.
Yeah. If
it's too much for you, then the rest of the movie's going to be like that, so you should probably just turn it off. But
right. Yeah.
It was just, I'm still my mind is still sort of trying to think about that a little.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So, do you want to get sentimental for a minute?
I don't know. Do you?
Yeah. Well, we talk.
You do? Okay.
What were we talking about at the first part of this
Christmas
episode? Yeah, Christmas and stuff. Yeah, that's always kind of weird. Well, Christmas is here, and it'll be gone tomorrow. But what's happening now that's on my mind is, oh, hang on. Maybe we should do a parenting pause so we can pay attention to her. What do you think?
We're good. She's okay. She just wants my coffee cup, but it's empty.
Okay. Well, the new year, 2018 is coming up. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I've been thinking about?
What?
Do you know what I've been thinking about?
What?
Is just... Sorry. Every day... What? Lindsay's SMHing right now.
What does that mean?
Shaking my head.
Because you're concerned about our child, you're acting like she's
Well, I can't focus on more than one thing at a time.
Yeah. Well, keep talking. We're listening.
I know, but I don't know. Anyway, it's gotten to the point in my life where days feel. I'm gonna parenting pause. I'm gonna parenting pause. Welcome back to the Parenting Versus podcast.
We took a 24-hour parenting pause.
Yeah, we didn't. expect it to be that long.
And here they come again. Oh, jeez.
Do we need to take a parenting pause
No.
from a parenting pause? Okay.
Here. Oh, my gosh. So, we have some cranky kids. And amidst the chaos and come down from Christmas time, which is yesterday, I think they're just overwhelmed by a million things right now. We did the Christmas thing yesterday with family, which was nice. And then today we kind of went and took the kids around and returned some things, exchanged some things. I think they're just confused because both Lorenzo and I have been home for like a week. And they're kind of looking at us like, you're still here?
So we left off from, it wasn't yesterday, was it?
Yeah.
It was Christmas morning?
Yesterday morning, I think.
All right, whatever.
Something like that.
Yeah, I was talking about, before we did the parenting pause yesterday, how the days seem to be just clicking by crazy fast.
Yeah.
I don't know if because I'm not working, or even when I am working, I feel like they just fly. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, time is passing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I am more aware of the time passing now than I ever have been in my life.
You have responsibilities and you're realizing that we have limited time in life because of our age.
Maybe that's because of brain development. When you're a kid, like, you don't really care about time passing, and it just does.
We have no reason to. I mean, everything's taken care of for you.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't really have time to sit and contemplate that.
True.
I got to apologize. If I sound ridiculous, it's because I'm getting over like a cold thing, and I went from like coughing and having like a crazy runny nose and just feeling like crap to like all of a sudden like my head and my throat are really dry.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just feel kind of like I'm
right
in a daze.
You should eat some green chili stew. That'll clear you up.
Yeah, maybe I should drink some whiskey.
You want some whiskey?
No,
I have some.
I'm kidding. I don't need whiskey.
I don't think whiskey clears you up, but
let's pretend.
Green chili stew, I think, is pretty healthy as long as you don't throw a bunch of tomatoes in it. Well, not tomatoes. Potatoes.
Those tomatoes, they'll get you.
Tomatoes, they'll get you. But
so
yeah, I'm counting my calories.
Yeah.
And so I halfway go in between like the ketogenic, not ketogenic, ketogenic diet for people who don't know. I mean, it's basically you do fats and protein.
It's low carb, no carb.
Yeah, and you kind of weed out any carbs. So no breads, no pastas, no potatoes, no rice. Basically all the good stuff. Like, you can't have it.
You know what's interesting is I feel like keto is kind of making a comeback. I keep seeing articles popping up about it.
Yeah, some guy I knew in high school did it. Yeah, I think you might be right. It's really hard. I mean, for some people, I think. So I have a routine. If I stick on the routine, it's easy. So, avocado, bacon, eggs, cheeses are okay. Some people say dairy's not good, but I'm cool with it.
I think those people are liars.
No milk though. No milk.
But you can have cheese.
Heavy whipping cream and half is okay, but nobody's gonna be chugging half and half.
So can you have brie?
You can have brie. Yes. Cheeses are fine.
Good.
Meats, cheeses, proteins, like some nuts, not a whole bunch, but some nuts.
There's certain ones in the diet that they talk about being better than others, I think.
But of course, no beer and those things. I mean,
you let them slide every once in a while.
Well, I do. When you're hardcore on it, you don't. You might have like a cheat day, so you don't go insane.
Yeah.
But even like cheat days it's like a foot in the door. It's a foothold, a stumbling block.
Well, and then you read about this thing called keto flu, where people basically, when they're detoxing from carbs. Real. No, it is. It's just interesting to read about because a lot of people don't know that happens. Mm-hmm. And so they're like, man, I've been doing this ketogenic diet and all of a sudden I feel like crap. But actually that feeling like crap is your body going into ketosis. It'll get better. Mm-hmm. But you are going to feel, it feels almost not flu-like in the sense that you're going to throw up, but like you just feel a little bit off for a few days. But then the fog lifts and you feel better. Yeah,
and you feel, I think, better overall.
I've heard a lot of people say they feel
seriously,
more clear-headed.
Like, what was it? I think it was like February of 2015. No, 2016. February 2016. That's when I first heard of ketogenic from, guess where? I won't even say it.
Yeah, don't.
Bad Christian Podcast.
Oh my gosh, you did. You did it. Oh, you did it.
But when I started doing it, I was kind of skeptical. I was like, oh, a bunch of fats and cheeses, and I'm like, whatever, I'll give it a try. And I literally every single day would see a drop in my weight. I started off, so I'm 6'2". I started off, and I was like the heaviest I've ever been. I was like 250, something like that. And by March, April, May, because I quit T-Mobile and I went back to teaching. I was working at T-Mobile for a little bit. It was kind of bogus, but anyway, I dropped. Wow. I was down to like 222 or something.
No offense,
like
T-Mobile. We're sure you're good people.
And
your hours are bogus, though.
No, it was the job was fine. It's just it was a bogus time in my life.
Yeah. Okay.
All
right.
Yeah, so I dropped like 30 pounds in 3 months.
Yeah, my mom actually has been doing keto.
It was crazy.
And she dropped 15 in a month and a half.
Here's the thing where I feel kind of bad, though. I feel like it's almost a little bit irresponsible sometimes.
Why do you say
it's
that?
Irresponsible eating. Because, so it's weird being a human, being an animal on Earth, because what we eat has to die before you eat it. And the food that you eat when you're ketogenic is meats. So it's very inefficient energy. Plants are very efficient because those are. I mean, think about this. So just Google energy pyramid, if you're feeling crazy, but like so food, comes from plants, right? They get their food, they get their energy from photosynthesis, right? And an animal has to eat that, and it's inefficient at keeping the energy that it eats.
This is basic life cycle and food cycle science.
I know, but
people should have learned.
If you're eating a bunch of meat, you're eating very, food that has lost a lot of energy, and I think that and more death has to happen. Basically, is what I'm getting at for you to. You're
basically a ravenous murderer.
Yeah,
and you also happen to like.
You can't get around killing things to eat them, even if they're plants. And by the way, there's no plants. Plants release a hormone to warn other plants that they're being eaten.
That's awesome.
I showed my kids a video of this. It's on a documentary called, I think it's called How to Grow a Planet.
Do you guys want to know what you can do to avoid all this murderous rampage?
Starve to death.
You cannot eat anything.
Actually, but when you die, you
become food for bugs.
Yeah, the worms and everything eats you.
You become compost. So really, it all comes full circle.
Yeah. But anyway, there's that.
I want to get this on record. Can I say it? When I die, there's these little pods where they put your body into this like little burlap sack, and then it's a pod, and out of the sack grows a tree, and they have them in like Italy. They're called memory gardens. So instead of having a coffin or like a cemetery, you just become a tree. Your body becomes fertilizer for this tree.
You just go to that Italian mafia person's backyard and there's a bunch of trees living there.
Probably so. But all I'm saying is, when I die, I want to be put into a little tree pod sack.
Okay.
So if I happen to die before you, could you do that for me?
Sure.
Thanks. Now we know.
All right. Yeah, so there's that. I feel bad for killing more a little bit. And also, like, if there are calories that are in my fridge that I'm going to end up throwing away, I feel super bad about wasting food. Like, I have a sack of tamales in my fridge.
That is such a New Mexican problem.
And
I have this giant bag of tamales, and I don't know what to do with them.
I'm going to eat those things because, one, they're delicious. Two, that's a huge waste. Like, this is an American thing, right? To go on diets, it's an American thing.
Yeah.
But we have food in our fridge.
You're like a tamale outlaw.
Ooh, I think I might have found a solution. Maybe I'll freeze them, and like on my cheat day, I'll take one out of the freezer and pop it in the microwave.
I like that. I think that's a really good.
I might do that
solution.
But I just feel bad for food, just going to waste. So, anyways, sorry, we're gonna do a pause for Lindsay to text.
No, you're fine. I'm fine.
Okay. Yeah, but. Those are the things that kind of keep me...
You're like a renegade tamale eater?
Yeah. Although...
You have a stash. You're like a tamale pirate. You have your tamale booty in the freezer.
Tamale booty.
And you're hiding it.
Yeah.
You're hiding it for the right time. When you discover that treasured bag of tamales again.
Yeah, maybe Luke can make me a treasure map and
We'll go hide your tamales in the backyard and you can find them. We'll make it really worth it for you on your cheat days.
Yep. But I'm down. I think I'm ready to get back on it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and speaking of getting like in the mode of getting healthier, like, all right, so New Year's, it's coming up, right? Mm-hmm. That's what people do. They tend to reevaluate things. Human beings, I think, have this innate need to have a beginning and an end to things, especially cycles or processes or growth or time. Right. So here we are, you know, end of the year, people are evaluating 2017, and for a lot of people it was a crap year. Yeah. And so...
Could have been good years for people. Maybe. If they invested in Bitcoin.
Oh, dear God. Here we go. But the point is, no matter who you are, everybody is going to self-reflect at the end of a year or the end of a time period, and they're going to look at themselves and they're going to say, okay, what have I done kind of crappy at? What can I do better at? How can I start with me? So that's kind of what people do. They start with themselves. Most of the time it involves a diet or more exercise. There's the surge in gym memberships at the beginning of the year. You know, I went to the gym for the first time today in like a month because I've been totally slacking for the holidays. Right. I gave myself this time to relax because I knew that come January 1st, it's game on. Or come December 26th, it's game on.
December 26th?
Yeah.
Today?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Day after Christmas.
Right.
So I went to the gym today and it was way busier than normal. So I think people are definitely gearing that way. I started my ketogenic diet again today.
Is your mom inspiring you a little bit?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's funny because when we were doing it the first time, like I lost a bunch of weight and she saw that. Of course, I gained it all back this last month. But I think she saw that and I was like, you know, even telling her like, even just eating this way, even if you don't exercise, it'll cut out some things that are causing you to eat extra calories. So it might just be worth it to try.
Right.
And it's definitely not for everybody, but like, I think, you know, it's a good jump start. It's a nice jump start to see the scale go down a little bit. It kind of makes you feel motivated.
Yeah.
And so she's been doing that and she lost 15 pounds and she looks great. So I'm proud of my mom. But yeah, I'm ready to get back into it.
We're so obsessed with these things though.
Maybe.
Like the way we look, the way that we feel, like
human beings are vain.
So I'm reading this book still. It takes me a long time to get through books. I think
you mention this book like every time.
Well, it's on my mind, and
yeah.
Since we've done this podcast, I think I've gotten through 2 books. Okay. The first was oh, by the way, it's by Rachel Held Evans. On the last podcast,
how's that whiskey treating you?
It's good. On the last podcast, I mentioned Rachel Held McEvans. No, that's what I said. I want to say, I don't know why.
Rachel McAdams and Rachel Held Evans.
I want to call her Rachel Held McEvans. I don't know why.
Because there's Rachel McAdams and then there's Rachel Held Evans, and it's like a mishmash.
But she is Rachel Held Evans, not McEvans.
Anyway.
Yeah. So the book I read last time was called Monkey Town, I guess, by Rachel Held Evans. And that took me a long time to read. It takes me a long time to get through books, not because I am a bit of a slow reader, I guess, but it also
kids.
Yeah, kids and my work and my job. I mean, and I'm going through school, and if I'm reading, it's usually for my, for school.
It's funny because I have a book too that I've been reading, and it's taking me forever. And it's just kids. Like, you actually have the time to sit and read, and that's like the last thing you actually do. You're like, well, I could clean the house. I could have a cup of coffee and watch a show I like. I could browse on Pinterest because that's what I really want to do. Do I want to read a book? Kind of.
I love reading.
I want to do other things.
But if there's a sink full of dishes and there's dirty clothes on the floor, I have to do that first before I read the book. Yeah. And that makes me feel a lot better. Like if I have an empty sink and an empty laundry basket, I'm good.
It's all about the aesthetic.
It's funny though because I don't know if you'll understand this, but
I'm not an idiot.
I don't know if you have similar experiences to this.
Can you just read what my mug says?
The boss, but do you know
the boss understands.
You know what the other mug says? The real boss.
No one's drinking out of that mug.
So during this break, when I've been with the kids, watching them, taking care of them every single day, looking after the children.
You mean both of us looking after the children?
Well, not you haven't really been because you've been at work and I've been at home.
Yeah, I guess.
You can't look after the kids when you're at work.
Whatever. Okay.
Anyways, During the day, there have been a few days where Lindsay's smelling my face.
You smell really good.
Okay.
Do they sell that beard oil at the barber shop?
They might. Yeah.
You should definitely find out.
We could talk about the barber in a little bit.
It just smells delicious.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know if you can relate to this, but I would do those things, right? Mm-hmm. Wash the dishes, wash the clothes, and scrub the engine's dirty nose. Mm-hmm. That's a nod to a children's book that we read all the time.
Yes.
Okay. Texting pause.
I'm writing down podcast name ideas because we always get to the end of our podcast and we say, what do you want to call this one? We're like, I don't know.
All right.
So ignore me.
All right.
Ignore me. Okay.
So I would put Juliet down for a nap, right? And then Riley's cranky. I'm like, oh, you need a nap too. And Riley would finally get down. After 20 minutes or whatever, it would take me to put Riley down. And all this time, I had the dishes done. I had the laundry done. Juliet's napping. I'm ready to read my book, but Riley needs to go to a nap. Takes me 20 minutes to put him down for a nap.
Right.
Finally, it goes down for a nap.
Yep.
Luke is busy playing Legos. I sit down to read my book. Juliet cries.
You hear, wah!
Juliet
like,
cries. And I'm just like, are you serious?
Yeah, no, welcome to, in case you haven't been aware, this is a podcast about parenting.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of.
Did you know a kangaroo can hurt you, on your tummy really bad?
Really?
Who told you that?
That sounds terrible.
I heard it in Wild Kratts.
Wild Kratts. Oh, you're learning some interesting facts about kangaroos today.
Watch out for those kangaroos, right?
They're mean.
They're mean.
Alrighty, buddy.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you for the information.
And when they go like this.
Yeah, they move their hands or their feet.
They're like boxing kangaroos.
They're doing this.
You're missing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is he watching Wild Kratts? I guess he is.
Yeah, last night we were laying in bed. I was trying to get Luke to go to sleep, and he was quiet for like 10 minutes. I thought he was asleep, and then all of a sudden he's like, Mom! And I'm like, yes, Luke? And he's like, did you know that it's so hot right now that box turtles are coming out of their homes? And I was like, what? So, because it's been really hot here in New Mexico. Given the fact it's December, it was like 60 on Christmas. We were sitting outside at my parents' house in tank tops because it was flipping hot. Like, all of you that had white Christmases, kudos to you. We were over here burning up in December.
Yeah, it was like 61 degrees.
It was crazy and weird at the same time. It just felt like
the record high, I think, was 63.
We were, like 2 degrees from a record this year.
Yeah. But, so, yeah, I'm getting through that book. But I don't know why I even brought up that book. Oh, I was talking about, what?
Nothing.
So, in the book, he's talking, it's called, it's by Tim Keller, not the mayor of Albuquerque, but the guy from New York. Lindsay's just smelling my face right now. He
smells so good, you guys. Your face smells wonderful.
Thank you.
I cannot get over it. I can barely smell, and I'm like, I'm such a creep.
I feel kind of good. My wife is looking at me with eyes now. Like a day ago, she told me I looked like I was homeless. So,
it was an honest comment. He asked, "How does my beard look?" And I said, "You look like you're homeless. And if we were downtown, I'd give you $1."
Whoa.
Well, I'm serious. You looked a little homeless.
Excuse me.
The beard was getting a little bit out of control.
Yeah. What's up, bud? He's pretending to be a kangaroo.
Oh.
And then you ran out.
He's gonna wake up.
Jujube.
The baby.
So, in the book, he's talking. It's called "Making a Case for God," or it's not a case for faith. That book was kind of dumb. Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna say it was kind of a dumb book. Maybe it was alright. I don't know. I feel bad for even just like criticizing. I feel bad for saying bad things. Anyway, I'll take the comment back. The book was fine.
Void.
That book was fine. I guess how it was rolled out to churches was a little bit. I didn't like that. But anyway, let's move on.
It was the best book ever written.
Yeah.
And people are like, "Have you read A Case for Faith?" And you're like, "Seriously?"
Give this to all your atheist friends, and then they'll be. It's like the perfect book that everybody will
Then your friends will really hate you.
This will change the world. I thought it was an all right book. It was whatever.
We're super cynical. We should
Anyways,
probably calm
I'm
down
going to stop. Yeah.
It's going to be a new year. Let's try to start with some positivity.
Yeah, seriously,
right?
I do want to be more positive.
Well, let's do it now.
Because it was funny because I was criticizing somebody for being critical, and I was like talking bad about them.
Oh, the irony. You damn hipster.
I am just an awful, awful person. No, in the book they were talking about. He was talking about like making how we worship something.
Yeah.
And whether or not we like it or not, we will worship something, whether it be God or whatever.
The gym, money, your job,
right.
Pick something.
And yeah, I think our culture,
Status.
the American culture, like we worship things like our diets or our image, how we feel, how we look. We worship that.
Have you ever been to Urban Outfitters?
No.
Yes, you have.
No, nothing fits me in there.
No, but you've been there.
Yeah.
That's like an entire, well, and the whole fashion industry anyway, but like that's an entire store.
I see through Urban Outfitters. I see through them. Like it's just.
But that's what I'm saying.
No, I got you.
It's an entire industry, an entire store based on like an
what you
image,
worship.
and like it's like a shrine to this certain imagery that you want to portray to the rest of the world. Mm-hmm. Like IDGAF, and then you have like
I don't give a.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you've got your flannel
Right.
your flannel faded out shirt that's like super 90s, and you're like, I paid $500 for this shirt.
Right.
But I'm gonna make it look like I got it at the thrift store.
Do you know the Navajo Nation sued Urban Outfitters?
Good for them.
Because Urban Outfitters was selling a bunch of Navajo patterns that they didn't ask for permission to.
Good for them.
Yeah, that's what I say.
I
So-
think that's legit. I mean, you shouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I do worship how I look a lot. Doesn't mean I should be unhealthy with my choices.
We all worship how we look to some extent. We
Yeah.
shower. I mean, we bathe.
Yeah. I like to shower because I like the way I feel when I shower. But yeah, I mean, we worship the way we look, our weight, our appearance.
Want a candy cane?
No, thank you, buddy.
No, thank you. Okay. Good. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Hey.
Okay, I'm on the ketogenic diet, son.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna look it.
Okay,
All right.
good.
Okay, I'm gonna lick it.
Bye!
Bye. Our 5-year-old he's bursting with personality, like it just happened between 4 and 5. Well, he's always had it, I guess. But
It's just magnified right now.
so I worship that. And I also worship things like tech, for sure. Mm-hmm. I might worship my kids a little bit. And the whole book is talking about like how it's making a case for putting God above everything. And I don't know, it's
like the only thing worthy of worship is God,
right? And
everything
everything else is like, if you put everything else, you're not going to be satisfied. And also, it's stuff that I've heard a lot growing up as a Christian and stuff. But I don't know, it just makes the book. Keller is he's good with words. So.
Well, the thing is, I think a lot of times we hear these things and they go in one ear and out the other, or we hear them in a context where it's like we hear it, we go okay, but we don't really think about it. You have to put some depth into that. Like, you need to worship God. Okay, if you're a Christian, then that's true. If that's something that's strong in your faith and you understand that, then that's something you'll do. But we always forget that, like, our time and energy and effort goes to other things too, and sometimes it's.
We have a lot of things we can put our time and effort and energy towards.
Well, and we do. But we don't always classify it as worship, even though it is. Like.
Yeah. And in the chapter I'm reading now, he's talking about freedom. And, like, what is complete freedom and what is complete autonomy. And freedom is kind of an illusion, I guess. Because even if you're single, like, you have freedom, right? But you also don't have love. So you're kind of a slave to your desires and
of
your
what
needs.
You don't have.
Right? And then when you're in a relationship, you give up some of your freedom to give way to the needs of your partner, right? Mm-hmm. And if you are...
Unless you're us and you just try to kill each other.
Right. Well, I mean, we're kind of learning still.
I'm just kidding.
I mean, that's true.
Too soon for that?
No.
Oh, okay.
But when you're in a relationship and a marriage, you're looking out for the best interests of your partner. And if you look at the best interests of yourself, then it doesn't go very well and nicely. And in that chapter, he's talking about, giving up some of your freedoms to your partner because relationships are about sacrifice. You trade religion for love. You trade freedom for love. And it's like a balancing sort of deal. But, I don't know, it's a really good book.
But I think also, like, love is one of those things where it's such a pure feeling that, like, you want to give those things to your spouse or to the person that you love. Like there's a difference between being forced to give something because you have to, or giving something because you genuinely want to. If you're giving because you want to, like, that's not slavery. Do you know what I mean? That's freedom, because you're giving out of the free and abundant feeling of love.
Right.
But like,
if you wanted to go to the coffee shop anytime you wanted to and write your memoir, whatever, like, you can't do that.
Wait, I can't do that?
I mean, I'm
just
okay
kidding.
with that.
I don't have time to do that either.
If you wanted to, I would.
No, I don't have
totally
time
fine
to.
with that. Like, I think
I don't even have the mental space to like start something like that, which is.
I think recharging is necessary. But in the book, he was talking about recharging. Like, if you're single, you need to recharge with having intimate interactions with other humans.
Oh, of course.
And that's why when you're single, you're not single like forever. You date because you need to be recharged with that love. And it's really interesting. A lot of it just makes a lot of sense to me.
Even dating is like holding up a mirror of yourself. You know what I mean? It's like putting your reflection out there and seeing how other people handle it. Like, you might choose not to date, but at some point you're still going to look for the validation of others in some context. Yeah. So some people that are single are like, oh, I don't need a boyfriend or a girlfriend. I'm going to just go to the gym, or I'm just going to dedicate myself to my job, or I'm just going to travel.
Right.
Like, whatever.
See,
that's
he
fine.
talks about that in the book too, dedicating yourself to your job.
But people, that's the mirror with which they are reflecting their innate need to be validated.
Right.
So it's interesting.
Right.
I don't know.
Can I just say, if I didn't marry you, which I'm glad I did.
Are you?
I am.
Thanks. You married... What does my mug say again?
I don't know.
All right, just one more time.
It says the boss.
Okay.
Lindsay is... who's that guy from New Jersey? The boss? I don't know. He's an 80s singer. He has the album cover with the jeans, and it's looking at his butt.
Springsteen?
Bruce Springsteen. Yeah, you're Bruce Springsteen.
You married Bruce Springsteen.
The boss.
How does that feel?
Born in America.
I am wearing my jeans.
Born in the USA.
And I was born in the USA.
Did you know that song, Born in the USA, is kind of a protest song? It's not really like the anthem everybody treats it as. Huh. Anyways, I'm glad I married you.
Thank you.
And it was definitely... The cards were turned in my favor for a couple reasons. You're a little bit out of my league.
Whatever. Says this bearded man to my little Bruce Springsteen self.
Also, number 2, I do not do well with interacting with people.
Wow, we're laying all our cards out today.
I do very well.
You're like, I freaking hate people.
Interacting with myself. But what I was thinking is, like, if for whatever reason, if I didn't meet you, or if it didn't work out or whatever, I would do better today dating than I was doing in 2005, 2006, 2007. Huh. And that's because dating right now is high tech.
I can't even, like, that's just, I would not survive.
I would do fine. I would be swiping day and night. Like, and I would go on dates and what?
You know, when you say it like that, it sounds kind of slutty.
What, swiping?
You're just swiping day and night?
Yeah, you'd be looking at different people's profiles. That's what you do when you swipe, right?
Yeah, but then that goes other places. I mean, it doesn't just disappear.
No, and then you swipe the other way if you want to meet them, right? I think, is that how it works?
I don't know.
You
I don't
swipe
do it.
And when you swipe the other way, does that mean that they know you swiped the other way?
I don't know.
Do they know right away? Huh.
In this world of Tinder, friend, I'm married. I don't know what that means.
I think I would do fine in the dating scene if for whatever reason we didn't happen.
I like how today we got into an argument in the car, and I was like, you don't communicate. And not only did I have to say it to you out loud, I had to yell it. Like, that is any better at communicating. Like,
did that happen today?
Yes, like, because I like have to overemphasize communication, that somehow makes it better. Like, what?
Yeah, I'm not sure. So,
gosh, that's so weird. So I have to just kind of like, what was your favorite? I'm gonna change gears here for a minute. I want to reflect on Christmas a little. Okay. Since it's over.
All right.
I want to decompress a little.
Take a breath with us, people.
Okay. It's over. It's over. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what this is about, but every Christmas, I get this weird feeling, and it's like, I don't like receiving gifts like from I do, but I don't. It's a very weird thing for me. I like receiving gifts if they're thoughtful. Mm-hmm. But if they're not thoughtful or it feels like the person just doesn't know me, I get really upset. Mm-hmm. And it's not about about them or like the gift itself. I take it really like on a deep personal level.
Like if somebody gets you something that just makes zero sense to you, like it makes you feel like there was like it was like a burn on you.
Kind of, yeah. I'd be like, why bother? Like, don't give me anything.
I can relate to that.
I hate that
through my lens.
Really?
Like, so I need people to tell me that I did a good job, mm-hmm. and if somebody tells me I did a bad job, it does the opposite effect on me. So you love to receive gifts, and that means a lot to you if it's a really thoughtful gift.
Well, that's my love language too. So,
which, by the way, I always say by the way. I should stop saying that. When was it your birthday? I gave you that ring.
This?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could tell that was genuinely something you liked because I saw it in your eyes, and that's one of the first times I've ever seen that.
Really? Well, it's funny because you got me this ring for my birthday, and I actually don't wear my wedding rings anymore. I wear this on my ring finger because I like it a lot.
And it's a simple ring. Somebody made it on Etsy, and I just thought it was really pretty.
But I like simple.
It's like a gold ring with a...
But the value to me is more. Like, the value to me... Because I got to pick my own wedding rings.
He wants some more tortilla.
I got to pick my wedding rings. We eloped, so we thought about the rings after. And it was kind of like, oh yeah, we should probably get wedding rings. So we looked around and I found this like wedding bridal set online. It was like JCPenney or something. Okay, so we got our wedding rings. I got them in the mail. We had to custom order them, so I didn't get to try it on before. And we got them. And they're really pretty, but they're just way, like, the style is way bigger than I would have picked had I gotten to, like, try it on first. I like the style. It's kind of antique looking, but it's just...
Kind of Art Deco?
Yeah, it's just way bigger than I thought it was in the picture. So I like my wedding rings, but I have a hard time wearing them just because the way that they're constructed, they get stuck on my clothes, and then like, you know, changing diapers with kids also, I've scratched them a few times. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I like this because it's tiny and it's simple, and it also has a lot of emotional value. So that's why I wear this.
I gave you that silver ring. It was like the Celtic heart with the hands.
Yeah.
Do you still have that?
No, it got stolen. It was in the box of jewelry that got stolen when our house got broken into.
I liked that ring. Was it white gold or silver? I think it might have been silver.
It was silver. Yeah. No, that ring got stolen when our house got broken into, so I don't have it anymore.
Well, I'm glad you like it.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you were... I get the gifts thing.
But it's like weird because every year, and I'm not trying to dog on my parents. I love my parents, and I know they try, and I appreciate the fact that they try. I really do. It's not about that. And I realize this probably sounds like a snotty little first world problem. It probably does, and it probably is. But like my mom, every year without fail ends up getting me a gift like that I do not like, I do not want, and it is like, I'm like, does she know me at all? Like,
and I know you do know that your mom loves you and everything.
I do.
No, I got you.
But I'm just like, I feel
and
like
you love your mom.
I do. I absolutely do. It's just interesting to me because I'm like, it's just this weird feeling because I'm like, does she know me like at all?
Here's
it gives me this weird feeling deep down, and I don't like it. Mm-hmm. You know, and I feel guilty taking the gifts back. I don't want to do that, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know, Mom, this is an interesting choice.
Yeah.
And maybe other people deal with that. It's just weird to me.
See, I'm a little bit empathetic because moms like ours are buying gifts for kids, grandkids, spouses, grandparents, and like they're in charge of doing all of that.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to focus on a special gift and we did that this year. We last minute shopped, and I feel awful about the gifts I gave my dad and your dad.
My dad loved his, actually.
Well, that's good.
He was really stoked. Now, he was way more excited than I thought he was going to be.
See, and my dad was stoked too, but like, I want to put a lot more thought into those gifts. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I do too. Well, and I think we do with our kids, but it's easy now because they're kids.
No.
they're kids. It's easy now. When they're teenagers, when they're older, it's not going to be so easy.
Yeah. You have to really know your kids,
right.
I think. And that's with anybody.
Right. Yeah. I just thought it was funny because my mom even asked me, she's like, what do you and Lorenzo want for Christmas? And I told her a list of 2 or 3 things that would be good ideas. Mm-hmm. None of those things. And I was like, okay then. I'm so confused.
It's all good. I mean,
whatever.
Unless you know me really closely and you follow me on Twitter or whatever, at Offlow High, in case you guys want to give me gifts next year. What's up, Luke?
Or buy him a nice bottle of whiskey.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
You can't go wrong with whiskey. But some of the things that I would absolutely love are the things off of the Google store.
Yeah.
Hey, Luke, no. Oh, thank you. Hey, Luke, stay in there, please. He's bringing me stuff.
Yeah, our 5-year-old's getting obnoxious. It's like...
He knows we're doing a podcast. He likes to be recorded.
Yeah. Well, I was reading this thing about parenting today. Mm-hmm. Speaking of parenting versus podcast. And it was talking about different statistical things, or, research-based things that were learned about parenting this year, in 2017. One of them is that they can scientifically show, I cannot think right now.
Statistics can be
They can scientifically prove, let me rephrase that, that when a parent picks up a cell phone, it is a trigger for a child to misbehave. It basically triggers the child to seek attention. Which is interesting. It's like a nonverbal cue to a kid that says, do something to get your parents' attention.
I think that could be spousal, too.
It definitely could be.
If I'm on my phone, are you going to get my attention?
Well, it's...
Or if you're on your phone, are you going to get my attention?
No, but I think that for children it's very simple, but I think for even adults you're right, because look at how many relationships are burdened by the spouse spending too much time on the computer, on the tablet, on the cell phone, doing whatever. It's like a direct commentary on the relationship. It's saying this object in front of my face is more important than the person sitting next to me. And maybe they're not intending it to be that way, but that's how it comes across just in a primitive response. So, I don't know. I thought that was interesting. The other thing I thought that was interesting that they learned this year was that firstborn children are more likely to be academic and driven in leadership than second and thirdborn and so on. So firstborns are more likely to be in leadership roles in the workforce. And there was one more, and I can't remember what it was right now. But it was something with technology. I can't remember.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'll have to find the article. It was interesting.
Juju's awake.
Juju's awake? Okay. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
We'll get her in a second.
Yep, she'll be okay for a minute. Yeah, so interesting things we've learned about parenting in 2017 in the world.
As a culture or as you,
Both.
Individuals? Yeah.
Both, I think.
Yeah.
And by the way, guys, I know this is a petty request, but please, if you have time, could you give us a review? Did you want to?
Yeah. I guess it helps. I don't know.
It helps.
I keep saying this. I don't. We're not doing the podcast for anybody. I mean, if you enjoy it, that's awesome. I don't understand how that could happen. I guess because we're just talking. What's up, Mister?
But feedback would be nice. So if you have a chance and you go on iTunes or
unless you want to say bad things about us,
keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, keep your mouth shut.
Just kidding. You can be mean.
Yeah.
It's fine. We're not doing it for you anyway. But no, I mean it just helps. I think it'd be cool to get some feedback, and whether it's good, bad, or neutral. Yeah.
I went to the barber today.
Yes, you did. Wow, we were all over the board.
I don't know where you were going with that.
I just wanted to do my little shout out moment.
Shout out to ourselves.
I guess.
Today we're going to shout out Parenting versus Podcast.
Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, if you look back on 2017, we started doing this in June, right?
Yeah.
And it's been fun. It's been, these are important things in 2017. I don't know if it's important, but we're documenters. We like to write. We like to write things down. I keep a journal.
Well, I think this type of documentation just makes the most sense right now.
I like audio documentation. How cool would it be if you could stumble upon, an audio recording of your grandpa or something from, the 1950s?
That would be amazing.
And they're talking about life and culture and what's going on, You know, he doesn't like Eisenhower or something like that.
But do you realize that,
Like-
that's not a reality for us, but like that is a reality for our kids?
It could be. They had tape recorders back then.
No, but what I'm saying is like, as of this point forward, this is a reality for our kids and our grandkids.
Everything is documented.
Right.
Right.
They have that. They
Right.
have that luxury. We've never had that.
Right.
We don't have that. We have a very limited lens into the past.
Right.
But our kids and our grandkids, like,
There's a lot of
everything.
mystery about our grandparents that
Right.
we don't know. Like I would love to know more about my grandpa. He died before we got married. You didn't meet him before we met, but I mean
I never met him.
you never met him.
I was at your house when you got the call that he passed away.
But I think it would be so cool to hear his voice.
Yeah.
And
Talking about his life.
Yeah. Now we have hours of recordings of our voices.
We have over 100 episodes.
Yeah, we do.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, it's a lot of hours.
Yeah.
And our kids and grandkids and whoever else wants to listen to our voices, like it's going to be archived forever. I mean, I don't know about forever, but I just think that's a really cool thing.
I think it is too.
So, I mean, that is the main reason I do the podcast. And also the two reasons I like to do the podcast with you is, one, we both enjoy it.
Right.
We both get a chance to talk to each other.
I want to.
You want to watch Sing? Okay, go in there. I'll put on Sing for you. Okay, love you. Oh, he wants it now.
Yes,
Okay.
he's 2.
All right.
Of course he wants it now. Yeah, our 2-year-old has been making us watch the movie Sing every single day, sometimes multiple times a day. Oh, there goes a Christmas ornament. Daddy's going to go put Sing on for you. But yeah, he's kind of obsessed with Sing. Yeah, so we're going to do a quick parenting pause, 2.0, and we'll wrap it up.
All right.
The sun fills the sky. It's dim next to your light, but it's always night without you. Without you, the day turns to night. Stars search with long lost eyes. In vain I try to hold you.
There's another parenting pause and a Jeff Medveron track for you.
Yeah.
A very pretty song. I like that song.
Is that Jeff singing?
Yeah.
I love his voice.
Yeah.
I had no idea that he had such a beautiful voice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice work, Jeff. Nice work.
Yeah, nice work, Jeff. Hopefully we get to hang out.
He's
while
in
here.
town,
He's
kind
in
of.
town,
He's in
yeah.
Taos right now, I think, right?
Yeah, I need to text him and see what he's up to. So, what were we talking about?
Well, I think we were getting ready to wrap up,
I wasn't.
but oh, okay. Well,
What were we talking about?
I don't remember. It's all a blur. I mean, it was more than 10 minutes ago, so.
So that was our parenting pause, but I think we were talking about parenting
We were talking about parenting this one time.
in 2017.
What we learned, what
Yeah.
has come out this year, what we've learned personally.
Reflections and stuff like
Yeah, as we wrap up
Yeah.
a year.
yeah. It is crazy though. I mean, that's one thing that I mean, going full circle, like just how days they pass,
They
and it's
do.
just nuts to me. And it's here comes a kid. It's just been a crazy year. I don't know. There's been a lot of things going on. Okay, just real quick, what's up?
I'm pretending this is electric eel.
You're pretending that rope, the robe belt is an electric eel. Okay.
Never mind.
Okay, go hang out with the kids for a little bit, and then we'll
Okay, bye.
bye. We'll do dinner in a second.
So what are we going to do for ketogenic dinner?
we have asparagus, and we have
Ham?
ham,
From
and
yesterday?
we also have some ground beef. So We could do that.
Asparagus, ham, and ground beef. What a combo.
No, not ham. If we did ground beef, we would not do ham.
Okay, well, I know, but it's the way you said it, it made it sound like we were doing everything together.
We also have some cauliflower. I might do some cauliflower rice.
Cauliflower?
Cauliflower rice. You never had cauliflower rice?
I just think it's funny how you say cauliflower.
Cauliflower.
Cauliflower?
Cauliflower. I don't know, whatever.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
Yes, Riley, what's up, bud?
Dad, I want my grandma pass my sippy cup.
Okay.
That was so desperate sounding. He has a stuffed elephant that he has named Guy. I think we may have mentioned this before, but we lost Guy version 1. We have bought Guy version 2.0. We thought we lost him once, and so Riley's Uncle Ramon bought him Guy version 3.0. So we have 2 guys floating around, and he wants his Guy. He has a pacifier, which is ridiculous, but we're trying to break him of that slowly. So he always says, I want my Guy, my sippy cup, and my pass. So that's what he's asking for. I don't know. I feel like we should wrap this podcast up because it's like going to hell in a handbasket with all these interruptions, but I guess we'll just keep on trucking here. So, yeah, 2017 wasn't a particularly great year for us. It wasn't a particularly bad one either. I feel like there was a lot of growing pains that happened this year in the Dominguez house. And we are still growing. I hope we never stop growing, but we're learning too. We have to take it one day at a time. I think that it's hard sometimes where we're at in life just because we have little kids. And as any of you know who have young children or little kids, like your finances are always kind of wonky with kids. You just never know what's going to happen. Your house is always kind of a mess. The job's never fully done. So having little kids affects a lot of different things. We're kind of on shaky ground just in the point of life that we're in right now.
In every area.
Yeah.
Mentally, physically, spiritually, financially.
Emotionally.
Emotionally. And
even like it even affects your diet, which is so sad to say. Like it cracks me up when people are like, well, just make an effort to eat healthier. And it's like, yes, we are trying, but when you
make an effort to shut your mouth.
But when you're at a grocery store with 3 kids and they're all screaming and cranky, it's really hard to think about.
Or if you're about to go to Kohl's and McDonald's is right there.
And your kids are cranky and hungry,
and
you're like,
it's also delicious.
Screw it. Like, enjoy. No, it's hard though. It's hard to make those decisions with little kids. Yeah. Like we can meal plan all the live long day. But if you're at a store with 3 cranky kids and they are not having it, you're rushing through the aisles just trying to get your crap done. Like you're not thinking about like how many avocados should I buy for the week. You're like, I want to get the hell out of this avocado aisle right now.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, yeah, we made the mistake of taking our kids around to different places today to try to return items.
It wasn't a mistake. We had fun.
Yeah, okay.
We just couldn't spend as much time as we wanted to.
Like Kohl's, I was trying to like look and I was like, what am I doing? Like these kids are not going to have this.
Right. I had an idea for Kohl's because everybody has to go to Kohl's, especially this time after Christmas. Everybody at some point in their life will be in a Kohl's.
Not true also.
And sometimes a husband might have to go with his wife to a Kohl's. And Kohl's is not a husband type of place. I mean, not this husband. I'm talking about myself.
Well, we had to return stuff that my parents got. It wasn't like we got anything at Kohl's.
But I don't like going to Kohl's. Like, if I had a choice, if I had some free time and they're like, hey...
Really? Had I known that, I would have just gone by myself.
No, I like spending time with you.
Okay.
If we have to go to Kohl's, I will go to Kohl's because I like being with you.
Well, that's good news, because tomorrow we're going to Kohl's.
Okay, that's fine.
When your mom has the kids.
That's fine. But here's the thing. I was going to say about Kohl's. Sometimes you have to go with somebody to Kohl's. But you might not want to be in Kohl's. Kids do not like to be in Kohl's. The only people who like to be in Kohl's are like women. So, what I was going to say is Kohl's needs to have like a husband daycare sort of place.
Where there's like a sports bar and some big TVs and some fried food.
Here's my idea for Kohl's, and they need to do this.
All right.
There needs to be basically some comfy chairs, 1 to 2 beer taps.
Local.
Yeah. Some nice, play equipment for kids where the kids can hang out and the dads can chill and the moms can take their time doing whatever they do in Kohl's. So I don't know what it is you guys do in Kohl's, but have fun.
I feel like that would be a good idea for a mall too. Like, why do malls not do that? Because moms want to shop all day. And dads could care less. If there's like a beer tap and a playground, kids and dads are good and moms are good too. Everybody's happy.
Dads are very simple.
I feel like maybe we should find a way to market this.
Yeah, needs to happen.
This is our intellectual property, by the way. If you steal it, we're going to know.
No, somebody's going to do it, and then,
If Kohl's all of a sudden starts having, like, microbrews and a daddy daycare with kids, I'm going to wonder.
Yeah.
But on the flip, though, if you want us to...
It could be called Kohl's Cares with a K. Kohl's Cares for dads.
Or Kohl's Cares,
Kohl's Cares about dads.
Craft brews.
Or craft brews with a K.
Oh, Kohl's Crafts. Ooh. And you know what? If you want us to give you shout-outs, Kohl's Craft, on our podcast, and then you want to pay us for that, we're down.
Yeah, I am down. We thought about monetizing the podcast, so we'll see how that works out. But anyways, so 2017 is coming to a wrap, right? 5 more days of 2017. And I don't know why I was going to kind of think on this for a second. Maybe not now, but I really get a lot of satisfaction in reflection.
Most humans do.
Yeah, maybe most humans do, but I do it, I think, more than a lot of people. At least I don't know. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. But I keep a journal. And me writing down my thoughts or me talking about my thoughts about things that happened already gives me a lot of satisfaction. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I love that. I've run a blog for 10 years that,
You should...
nobody reads.
Well, you should say what your blog is. Why not?
It's called bobthehermit.blogspot.com. And I've been keeping the blog for 10 years. I haven't really been keeping up with it lately. But if I have a minute and I can kind of get my thoughts out and reflect on something, I'll write. And it just gives me a lot of satisfaction. And right now, like the podcast, reflecting on things as a couple gives me a lot of satisfaction. And I think now is the perfect episode. I mean, for a few more minutes before dinner, to kind of reflect a little bit about 2017, because some big things have happened this year.
Yeah.
Our son has started kindergarten, public school. That's huge. He's starting to read.
Not even starting to. He's reading.
Yeah, he's reading.
Crazy. Like
and it's awesome.
He's been reading words to me, like without me prompting him. He'll be like, "Mom, that says blah blah blah," and I'm like, "Yep, sure does."
Our kids have been a huge part of this year. I mean, they have to be.
Juliet has crossed the threshold from baby to toddler, and she's full blown.
She started walking this year.
Toddler, yeah, she started walking, and she's talking. She
Righties.
talks.
Yeah, she is.
And she's funny.
It was funny yesterday for Christmas. She was down, so your parents have a family room, and it's like a 3-level house, right?
Yeah.
4-level? Three level. So the bottom level is the family room, and the kids were all in there. They were corralled with a baby gate. But Juliet was on the bottom, and then she was screaming for Papa, which is
my dad.
Lindsay's dad. She's like, Papa! Papa!
It was so dramatic, too. It was like...
Papa!
She had him worked. I mean, it was
And your dad's like, I know what she wants, and I'm not going to fall for it.
2 seconds later, he's getting up to get her.
And your mom's like, Steve, don't you hear her?
I know.
She sang Papa.
And it was pretty cute. And my dad was like, couldn't handle it. And he went and got her and was like, it's fine.
I got up and she saw me. And so she changed from Papa to Dada.
Oh, okay. That's,
Dada.
Yeah, you're right. That's...
So, I mean, our kids are a huge part of our lives. And they stress us out. But we just love them to no end, right?
Riley, our middle son, has taught me this year that everything that you think your kid is not going to do or try, they will do or try.
Yeah.
Riley is definitely our limit tester.
He is.
And There are things where I'm like, he wouldn't do that,
Yeah.
and then that's exactly what he does.
Right.
So there's always one in the bunch.
Yeah.
Like,
So like
he's the one.
the beginning of this year when he was barely walking, we walk into the kitchen and lo and behold, Riley's standing on top of the table and we're like, oh, okay,
So you're climbing now.
all right, cool. And then earlier this year we've got a piano for free on Craigslist.
Yeah.
And we would walk in here and lo and behold, he's just sitting, lounging on the
Crouched.
piano.
Crouched on top of the
I'm like,
piano. ready
hey,
to
how's
pounce.
it going? How did you get up there? That's okay.
He's so casual about it. He's like, oh, you didn't want me to do this?
Right.
I didn't know. It's fine. I'll get down.
Yeah.
But he's also transitioned to a big boy bed from a crib, which is crazy because
Right.
he's officially not a baby. He's a boy. And I'm just
He is
like,
a boy.
yeah.
I mean, as far as careers go, I mean, I'm, starting to be pretty settled in a high school, which is nice. Your careers, you're really good at your job. In fact, I got a reminder on Facebook. It was the picture of Love Inc. welcoming you.
Oh. Yeah, I've been there
That's
for
like
a
our
year.
new addition. Yeah, you've been there for a year.
That's crazy. Yeah, I knew it was
In December.
I just couldn't remember when. So
It's like today we like to welcome our newest member, Lindsay. And I remember when you got hired there, and we were really excited. And
yeah,
it was a big deal.
It's been a year already. It feels like it's gone really fast too, and it's crazy because in that year with work alone, like I've gone to Idaho with my coworkers for training. Actually, last year around this time in January, we were in Idaho, in Nampa, training, and then I have been to Chicago with work doing our national thing, and it's just crazy. It's weird to be so integrated into a nonprofit, and it's only been a year. It doesn't feel like a year. It feels longer than that.
Right.
And I mean that in the sincerest way possible. It's definitely been a learning curve for all of us. So I'm just happy to be part of a team where we're always learning and we're always trying new things. That's important to me. Like,
Right.
I feel like it's nice to be a part of the process, and
Yeah.
it's nice to be able to be
You have a voice there.
yeah, and it's heard and it's listened to and it's considered, and that feels really good. So
It's been a good year working,
yeah, it's been a good year. It's been a learning year, but not in a bad way. It's just
learning about your work and also learning about people, I think, right?
well, yeah, in a different capacity. I like that my job is trial and error. So we try something, it doesn't work, we scrap it, we try something new, and we're allowed to
Yeah.
do that as many times as we need to get the process right.
Right.
So
And you're getting really close to the women you work with.
yeah, it's cool. And that's the thing. I know that in some businesses it's like your friends, your coworkers, there's a line. At my work, we're
You
more
can't-
like a family.
You can't help but not be.
Right. Like we're more like a family. It's not really like
Can I tell you something I observed though when I went there? Everybody
Sure.
eats lunch together except for you.
well, my lunch hours are a little different because I'm running the call center during the time that they have lunch.
Oh.
So it's not to be mean. It's because I
Yeah.
get out of the hours of call center at like 1.
You don't ever get to eat lunch with any of your coworkers?
Well, sometimes I do. They take a late lunch, or we have a staff lunch. I do. But yeah, my hours are a little bit different in that I have to be in a certain spot from 10 to 1 on certain days to manage the call center.
Right.
So
Has there been any like growth that you've noticed like personally this year, or anything that's been particularly hard, or
I feel like I've always I've always known that I'm selfish with my time. I just think that I'm starting to realize that a little bit, but I'm also starting to figure out how to work around that. So that's something that personally I'm working on. But I'm also working on my health and trying to get in better shape because I want to feel better, not just because I want to look better. And then art. Like I've taken on like
well, I'm looking at an art piece of yours right here. Is
Yeah.
it finished?
no, not really. I brought it in from the workshop because I didn't want the cold temperatures we were getting to warp the wood
It looks really cool.
when it got back to being warm again. I need to finish up that little corner, but I have an idea for my next project. I think I'm going to do a piece on Mount Hood. So, yeah.
Nice.
Because I used to, as a kid, go to the Rose Garden in Portland, and there used to be this little viewpoint where you could stand and look out and see downtown Portland and then
Yeah.
see Mount Hood above it. And I'd like to do something
I
like
remember
that.
you and Andrew were like surprised that you couldn't see that anymore.
Well-
Because one of the new buildings is blocking the view.
Yeah, my buddy Andrew and we were looking at it, and it's crazy because when I was a kid, there was a straight shot, clear view of Mount Hood, and now there's a building blocking it. So
Portland is so beautiful.
I
I'm just
know.
going to say that.
I know. Let's not talk about it.
The Pacific Northwest is
I'm
so
gonna get
beautiful.
homesick. Let's not talk about it.
We took a couple trips. You took 2 more than I did. 3 more than I did, right? Did you do Boise this year or was that last year?
That was last January.
So that was this year. That was in 2017. So you've done Boise,
Well, it was
Chicago,
Nampa.
or I guess Nampa, Chicago, Denver. What else have you done?
We've done Palm Springs.
Palm Springs, Portland.
Portland. Yeah. We've done a little bit of traveling.
I was thinking tomorrow we should just get in the car and drive to Missouri and surprise your brother.
That'd be awesome. Do you want to? I'm down.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to be a surprise if he listens to this before we get there.
Yeah.
But...
Knock on the door and
Surprise!
hey Ryan, we're here. Happy Christmas, New Year. Can you watch our kids?
Also, we didn't bring presents.
We didn't bring presents, but we love you. We are your presents. Like we can put bows on
You're
ourselves.
welcome. You'd be like, what the heck is happening?
Yeah.
Actually, that would be a fun drive, but I think that Kansas City is getting slammed with snow right now.
All the more reason to go. Because it was 61 degrees here yesterday, so.
Yeah, maybe we should go find some snow tomorrow after
Yeah.
our coffee date. We should
I would
just
love to
leave.
drive just east and just hang out.
Maybe we should. Let's do it.
I don't know.
This is how we are.
It's been a good year for you, bad year, learning year. What do you think?
I feel like it's been a very learning and self-reflective year.
Yeah.
A growth year, I think, is a good way of putting it. Growing isn't always easy,
Right.
and it doesn't always feel good, but it has to happen sometimes. And then the outcome is always beneficial.
For me, can I talk about me for a second?
Please do. You smell so dang good.
Thank
You
you.
smell delicious.
I felt good going to the barber, by the way.
Yeah.
He used
Treat yourself.
he used a straight razor to trim up my neck and like
Clean you up a little bit.
clean my up. I can actually feel my lips now, which is cool.
You can see your lips. It's
See
crazy.
my lips.
So maybe you going to the barber is like the equivalent of like a woman going and getting a pedicure.
Maybe. Yeah, and we're just chilling with these dudes, like
Relaxing, kind of being
these
in your
homies,
element.
and we're just talking about football and stuff. And as I was sitting down, some dude came in and he's like, hey, do you guys take walk-ins? And he's like, yeah, come on in, sit down. He's like, what do you want? He's like, I just want to go bald. He's like, not really? Do you want to do a fade? Anything like that? He's like, nope, I lost a bet. Bald all the way.
At least he's owning that bet. At least he's owning.
So they were
up to
talking
his
about how he lost the bet.
responsibility. How did he lose it?
Yeah. He said the Browns would win one game this year.
Oh wow, really?
And
I wouldn't bet on the Browns, and I don't even know that
they
much.
They didn't win any games, so he had to get his head shaved.
Well, that's his bad. I mean, really.
But yeah, they were just like shooting the shit, hanging out,
Yeah.
kind of like barbershop status,
Kind of like bros do.
yeah, like bros and cutting your hair.
Nice.
The barber was asking me questions like, hey, where do you work? I was like, oh, you work at Highland? That's cool. I went to West Mesa. Just
I
hanging
was
out.
just over by West Mesa the other day.
So, I mean, if I were to categorize this year, it was busy. Very, very, very busy. The big things that come to mind for me are politics. This year I had my mind a lot on politics. I had my mind a lot on school, like my own school, like my own education, because I'm finishing up my license, even though, I have my bachelor's degree in economics, but finishing up my licensure for, being a teacher. I spent a lot of time there. A big person in my life was one of my teachers. Her name was Janet, and you guys have heard of her. She taught early literacy, and she was excited about books. And I never knew I could learn so much from children's books until I took her class. And I read these books, and they have simple lessons, but there were times when I was in her class when I was almost to tears. It was so crazy. Like, I'm teaching high school. First of all, I go in this class, and I'm like, guys, I teach high school. Like, I'm not going to be able to use this class, but it's part of my curriculum. But these children's books have so much wisdom in them.
Think about when people's parents don't read to them. They're not getting that.
Right. And but I was getting, as an adult, so much out of these books. And also, kids are important. And
They are the future.
she had a passion for kids, but more importantly, books, but more importantly, she had a passion for kids. She would give us examples of these kids that were in her career, because she was probably in her 70s. She's from Georgia, but she moved to New Mexico because she met some handsome New Mexican man.
It happens.
And
Did his beard smell delectable?
I hope so.
Me too. Like pinon.
But it smelled like pinon and green chili.
It was so mysterious.
But like the passion that she had for kids just bled on us. Like, and it was just, it was just a great thing.
Most social service models recognize that to impact families, you have to impact kids.
Yeah. Yeah. So she modeled what a good teacher looks like. Literacy is important, you know, and that's one thing I am changing my own habits with my kids. Like we've always been pretty good about reading to Luke every single night. Mm-hmm. But, you know, going to the library, picking out some really good books. She gave me a list of, and I really do need to post this on our blog, but Janet's list of books. But, yeah, she had a big impact in my life.
You know, speaking of big impacts and impacting kids, I would like to give a serious shout out, though, for a second, if that's okay. If you are looking to make any last end of year donations or considering supporting a good cause, I would really encourage you to make a donation to Shine School Partnership. Mm-hmm. I did a Facebook thing on my birthday and people donated and it was awesome. But they do good things. They do good things for kids. They do good things for kids in the community here in Albuquerque. They partner with low income and Title I schools to provide mentorship, partnership, and just a lot of different supports for elementary schools all over Albuquerque. They're trying to get into high schools and middle schools too. So if you have a minute, check them out. Shine School Partnership here in Albuquerque. If you feel like donating, please do consider it. It's a good cause. It's a good thing. So
they're great.
Yeah, they are great.
Yeah. So for me, I would say it's been a year, not so much of growth that I know of quite yet, but a year of knowing that I need to grow in certain areas. Mm-hmm. Knowing that I need to grow. Like I know I know a little bit more about what to work on now. Mm-hmm. In my marriage, in my career, in my, parenting. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
So
last but not least, we have a new year coming up. Mm-hmm. What is your resolution? What's your New Year's resolution for yourself?
Ooh. Ay.
Or do you have one?
I have not even given that any thought.
Okay. Well, maybe we can talk about it next podcast in the new year. We'll see
where
we're at.
I mean, right off the top of my head, I would say I want to be more immersed in my faith. Mm-hmm. My faith has been kind of half-assed, if you will. I want to, New Year's resolutions would be, now that I know a lot of the things that matter to you, I want to work on those more. Mm-hmm. Like, get things done around the house, take you on dates, things like that. I want to spend less time on my phone and more time with my kids. Mm-hmm.
That's one of mine, too.
So those are all some things that I've been thinking about because, man, we spend a lot of times on our phones. Like the other day, I got a notification on my phone, then my watch, then my tablet, then my, other phone.
It's so easy to not be present
in the moment. Then my computer, and I had all these screens, and it's just, it got overwhelming, and I was like, what the hell am I doing? Like, I checked my phone to see what time it was, and then before I knew it, it was 30 minutes, and I was, like, scrolling through Twitter, and I was like...
But that's the thing. I think that one of our resolutions as a couple is to not let those things own us or own our time.
Right.
I know that for me also, like, this is kind of nerdy, but I want to start, like, a side hustle. Yeah. Like a legitimate one that I want to earn a little extra income for our family, but I also want it to be, like, I don't want to say fun, but I need that creative outlet. I want it to have some kind of creative aesthetic to it.
Have you thought about monetizing a blog?
Yeah, because that's really hard to do.
People want to hear what you have to say.
I don't have a lot to say on blogs, and I don't have time to sit and type a blog. I've thought about that. I wish I could. I just don't have the capacity to do that type of monetizing right now. But something. I just got to think about what,
Yeah, I gotcha.
And I also want to try to do more. I want to try to support more local. Like, I would like my money to go, if it has to go somewhere, to go somewhere local. So that's I want to be more conscientious about that.
Right.
So those are mine.
Well, 2018 should be an interesting year. Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to it.
Looking forward to being 20 pounds lighter, hopefully.
Yeah, me too. Well, guys, thanks for joining us on this end of the year podcast.
Have a happy new year.
Yeah, have a happy new year. And
we hope you had a Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Be nice to each other. Don't fight. No, I don't know.
Drink good whiskey.
Drink good whiskey. That's... I'm telling myself this.
Have a great day. We will talk to you in the new year.
Happy New Year. Feliz Nueva...
Año Nuevo.
Año Nuevo. Año Nuevo. Bye, guys.
Happy zombie game. Happy zombie.
Thank